Today's Monday.
You gotta cut that singing out. Oh my God. Hell no.
Good morning, good morning. Get your ass out of bed. It's Mondays with A and J. I'm A, he's J. You know we play A.
Nah.
A.
It's a no for me, dog. Yo, wake that ass up.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Mondays with A and J. I'm A.
And I'm Jay.
And we are young, blackety black professionals talking about real shit at work that you can't talk about at work. Real shit, real jobs, and real black people.
Last Monday, we talked about side hustles. So it's about time that we start talking about the side chicks.
Oh my God.
But first, we have this advertisement from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by us because we don't have any sponsors yet. If you're trying to sponsor, hit us up at mondayspodcast@gmail.com. Back to you, A.
So for y'all, we have a new segment alert. We got a new segment. It's called the Pink Slip Moment, okay? So the Pink Slip Moment is where we're going to bring you the stories of the people who did dumb shit and had to get let go. Now, I know y'all done heard about that Amy Cooper story.
Amy Cooper, please step into my office. Amy, you were at a dog park with no dog leash on your dog. And somebody, it doesn't matter the race, color, creed, does not matter, caught you red-handed doing something you shouldn't have been doing. Put you on video, and that person just so happened to be a black man, a bird watcher.
Christian Cooper.
Say it.
Christian Cooper.
And
Hangin with Mr. Cooper.
And you had the nerve to threaten this man, called the police on him after he said, please stay back during the coronavirus epidemic. And called the police on him and made it known to the police that it was a black man. And then started to act very frantic like this man was hurting you. When you were threatening him, going towards him, and you were doing illegal activities. Amy, I know you've already been fired from your job. But from Mondays with A and J, you're fired.
Amy,
you're fired, Amy.
Grab your shit and get the fuck up out of here, okay?
Thank you for being Karen of the day.
Thank you. Take this trophy for being Karen of the motherfucking day, Amy. Goodbye.
And speaking of firings, it would be remiss of us not to bring up what's going on in the news. 3 officers definitely just got fired for being cold-blooded murderers and murdering George Floyd in Minneapolis. And I just want to put out their names of the 4 officers because I think you have to keep saying, well, I shouldn't even say officers, 4 murderers that have been fired. Yep. Derek Chauvin, Thomas Lane, Tao, and J. Alexander Kung. They're murderers. Like, I know you guys have seen it. It was, like I said, it would be remiss if we don't talk about it and give our condolences and our love to just the people of Minneapolis, George Floyd and his family. May God rest his soul, and justice for these criminals. Like, yeah. Hey, you got anything to say about these murders?
I'm pissed.
It's been everywhere.
I'm pissed. I watched the video and I'm speechless. Like, this man, this murderer, because we're not going to call them officers, like you said. They are murderers, okay? Yeah. They lost that title of officer when they did what they did. These are murderers, and when the murderer, Derek Chauvin, put his knee on George Floyd's neck for, they said, at least 7 minutes. Yeah. The man was pleading. He told them he could not breathe, that his body hurt, his stomach hurt. They said that blood started to come out of his nose. And for 3 other officers to stand by, and the saving grace for all of this was a teenage Black girl who filmed the whole thing. She said she was 5 feet away. And we can only imagine how traumatized she is to watch the murder of someone in broad daylight on the street, and you can't even do anything about it. Can't even do anything about it. Yes, these 4 lost their jobs, but they need to be arrested. They need to be jailed.
Criminal action. It wasn't even the correct protocol. It's other police officers coming out right now, even within the Minneapolis area, and they're saying like that wasn't the correct protocol.
It's not even an authorized tactic.
Yeah, so
obviously so, because and what purpose does it hold? And of course they use the same excuse that we're all used to hearing. Oh, he resisted arrest. But they have footage from the restaurant that was right by the scene of the crime that showed. It showed he was not resisting.
What's that quote? That it's not that people are becoming more racist, it's just that we can film it. That's really what you have. Like, I know for me, I personally haven't been able to watch. I told myself I would never watch another Black Death after seeing the Fruitvale Station movie, and then they showed the actual footage of the young man being murdered by that subway cop. And I personally, I can't watch somebody that could have been me or my friends or my loved ones. You know, I can't. I personally can't. But like, I stand on the side of justice. I stand on the side of you have to do what you have to do. Like, I know there's plenty of people saying you shouldn't protest, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, it should be peaceful. They tried peaceful and people laughed them out the room. They fired Colin Kaepernick. They did a lot of so it's like at what point or what tactic are you going to hear things being heard?
You have to remember, the people talking about being peaceful, a lot of them are white people. Yeah. Okay? They want us to have to endure these things, but then we're supposed to be the ones to be peaceful when no peace was given to us. Okay? Yeah. What did Dr. King say? You know, riot is the language of the unheard. People are grieving. Yeah. For themselves, for their brothers and sisters and parents, aunts and uncles, their cousins, for their community. They're grieving. Yeah. What do you think people are going to do?
See, that's the question I would want to ask. I would want to ask people I would want to ask people like, well, what would you rather them do? Because it's like, if people feel like they've extended, if they're at the end extent of everything that they've done or how they're coping with things, like what else do you want them to do?
They want us to just take their little thoughts and prayers and put them in our pockets and go home. Wait for justice. You know, to do its thing. Well, we ain't seen no justice. Yeah. Before this, it was Ahmaud running down in Brunswick, Georgia.
And Breonna Taylor, rest in peace.
Thank you. Why does it take, even with video, it's still not enough. Yeah. It's still not enough.
Yeah, yeah.
It's infuriating. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. This is exhausting. White people are exhausting. I'm not going to lie. Because we just be going about our business. They told us, don't resist. Don't talk back. Don't do anything. But now, see, that don't even work anymore. Because now you see plenty of videos where people aren't doing not a damn thing but being Black. Literally not doing anything else.
But see, I have a theory about this. I feel like it's hard to live in a society where people were brought here as property. So the equivalent of a pet or a dog, right? And I have to compare African Americans to this because this is what they saw us as. So when you bring property and then now you have to let your property go and now your property is moving freely, it's similar to like if a dog were to get loose and the first thing people do is call the dog catcher, or they try to lock the dog up, and then if there's a surplus or a increase in population of dogs that are running free, you put them down, you kill them. it's, to me, it comes off like the same thing. I don't think America has coped with the idea of we weren't supposed to be here, and now you're dealing with people who don't really know what to do with us. We weren't supposed to be here. We were just property. So they look at us still the same way. Like if you look up historical facts, police were started as property go-getters. Like they were the first line of go retrieve my slave.
Right.
Like that, those were the first police officers here. So that ideology, that system, although it's modernized, those concepts are still there, and they're in the back of our heads. The same way as black people walk around like, damn, like I could just be killed by a police officer for anything, for sleeping like Breonna Taylor, or just it's just you can be killed at any moment. So in my head, I'm just kind of like, well, how do we know that like it's that whole stigma doesn't exist in the minds of white people as well?
Well, going back to the Amy Cooper story, Christian Cooper, no relation, as they say. Yeah. Christian Cooper could have been another hashtag. Yeah. Because what Amy did when she got on the phone, Christian Cooper wasn't even near her. She actually kept getting closer to him. And she told him straight up before she even called the police, I'm going to tell them that I'm being threatened by an African-American man and I'm scared for my life. She already had the whole little trope already prepared. She already had her little skit prepared. And then she turned on the dramatics when she got on the phone. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid for my life, as she's choking her dog and as Christian Cooper is like 10 feet away from her. And so here we are with this woman playing this game that a lot of white women honestly play that could have cost Christian Cooper's life had some police officer rolled up, took him as a threat, and took him out. And that happens to a lot of people. And all these Karens, you know, as funny as it is, the Karens and all the memes and jokes, but these Karens can have some serious blood on their hands by playing these type of games, calling the police, and fraudulently claiming things that didn't occur. And to be honest, those people who make those fraudulent claims on anybody, but especially black people, that's what we're talking about, they need to be fined, they need to be arrested, and they need to be jailed.
Yeah. You
shouldn't be able to do that freely and go on about your day. So we are very glad that Amy Cooper got fired from her job, as well as the 4 officers from the Minneapolis Police Department. It's not enough.
At the end of the day, it's really not enough, because in the case of George Floyd, this man is deceased now. Like at the hands of people who are on, like, basically, you know, they're on protection by the officers that let's just take a moment of silence for George Floyd, his family, and the people in Minneapolis. May y'all be safe. I pray for y'all. My heart is with y'all.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
so
the tone.
On to something a little bit lighter. What our topic of the day is. It's about shooting your shot, y'all. Shooting your shot at work. Now, we all have experiences with this, but we're going to show y'all what not to do when trying to shoot your shot or talk to somebody at your job.
Dang, little baby. I see you over there by the copier.
Excuse me?
Little baby, you know, I'm just trying to
My name's not Little Baby. It's Brittany.
But you know, you over here at the copier. I'm trying to scan some. What's up?
You can wait your turn. Thank you.
So you gonna do me like that?
You know we're at work, right?
That is what you should not do.
See, I'm about to go to HR off that one. So don't be talking to me like that at work.
All right,
now we're gonna talk about
the better approach.
How to shoot your shot the better way.
The better approach. Hey, how you doing?
Hey there, Trey. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I think we both kind of been eyeing one another. And I thought you were attractive, and maybe we can go out for lunch sometime.
Okay. Yeah, we could do a little lunch one day. You know, just shoot me an email, a little calendar invite.
I got you.
All right. See you later.
I ain't never holler at nobody like that. Never holler
And that's why you got shot down. That's exactly why you got shot down.
Yo, Trey is corny.
Trey is the man that is not gonna end up in HR's office. Trey is the man that's not about to get me too'd, okay? Trey knows what it is. You the one that's gonna be kicked out your job for harassment.
But the interesting thing about this is work relations are a lot more prevalent than that I even knew. After just kind of doing research on this like topic, what does it say? 58% of employees surveyed have engaged in like office romances. So the idea of like shooting your shot and really trying to talk to somebody at work, that's a real thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know about you. I've never done that, but have you had any experiences with that?
You never shot your shot at work? At any job?
Okay. I take that. I take that back.
I just like, you lying.
I take that back. Okay.
You shot your shot on this job.
I'm trying to think. I have, but it wasn't like too blatant. Like, it was on some old, I would go by. So it was one of my coworkers. I won't say which job it was from back in the day.
Okay, what kind of job?
Don't worry about all that. It was a professional job. We both had offices, so I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, this is in your adult career, not like high school or college.
No, not high school or college. Nah, I was like a nerd back in the day, so I wasn't really. I didn't have no confidence. Look at the hate. But so I would go by her like desk. I would just pop up on her, like her back used to be like turned from like the opening of her office, and I'd be like, hey, how you doing? And then I was relatively new, and she was as well. And we were like two of the younger staff. Mm-hmm. And, I would just go in there and just chat with her and whatnot. And I'm like, looking kind of good. And then we had a conversation. Because she went to a HBCU.
Okay, and, shout out HBCU.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, home by the sea.
No, okay. Anyways. So I'm going into office multiple times, and then we had this conversation about a homecoming coming up, and I essentially told her, like, I haven't been to one of the homecomings here in a minute, like, or in general, and she was like, oh well, next time I go, I'll invite you out or whatnot, and I'm like, oh shoot, well then here, take my number. So I thought that was just the easy segue, since she was kind of inviting me. I just thought it would be a natural progression after that. And she sent me like, hey, this is so-and-so. And then, I tried to play, this is how guys do. I tried to play it cool and didn't even like message her back quickly. I waited like a couple hours.
Too many games.
I know, I waited a couple hours and I texted back like, oh, I got you.
And you're so whack.
I was trying to be cool. So
that is not cool. For all the men who are listening, text that woman back ASAP. Okay, we too old for that.
And the funny thing was, I think maybe a week later, I like messaged her about something like work related, and I didn't even get a response back. At that very moment, I gave up hope. I was like, I'm cool. And then I don't even, as bad as it sounds, I don't even go by her office. I kind of just hit the little wave when I see her. But you laughing? What your story is? Let's hear you shooting your shot.
No, so I'm not a shot shooter. Let's just make that clear, okay? So, shots get shot at me. So, there was a guy that I dated when I worked at the movie theaters in high school. And so, we would flirt at work and stuff like that. And then he had asked me out on a date, right? So he said he was going to come and pick me up. And the date was us going to the movies. I was like,
that's clutch.
No, it's not. We work
that's clutch.
You're going to take me where we work.
Yo, bro. No, he cool. I like him.
No, that's hella cheap. You going to take me where we work? That's why.
You say it cheap. I say efficient.
Okay. Well, anyways. The man pulled up to the house. He was lucky my daddy wasn't there, because my daddy is like a version of Suge Knight. Okay. So I was glad he wasn't there either. So only my mom was there. He pulls up in this old car. Okay. Gets out, meets my mom. We get back in the car and we drive off. We probably get about 5 minutes down the street. This man is like, oh, I was in a shootout last night. I was like, what?
Wait. I was not. Wait, what?
He said he was in a shootout. I said, excuse me. I said, like you? He was like, yeah, my car. He was like, look at the headrest. There's bullet holes in there. And I turn and I look at his headrest. And there's a bullet hole in his headrest. And there are bullet holes all in the driver's side of the car. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I should have turned around. Like, I should have told him to take me home. But we went on the date anyways. So quickly, our workplace romance ended quickly after that. Well, you know what? No, I was going to say, I did low-key shoot my shot.
Oh, let's hear it. Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff. Let's go. Let's hear it. Let's go.
Okay.
What you did?
So,
dang, little baby.
I went to HBCU, but the summer after, I had a little jungle fever.
Oh, whoa. Wait. Dang, Connor. dang, Nathan. I see you with them khakis on.
We won't say names, but
dang, Ian.
But I was a camp counselor. I was a camp counselor for this high school summer camp. And he was one of the camp teachers for the students. And so, I would just be flirting a little bit, helping him out, see if he needed any copies,
Oh my God.
Any extra hands.
Wow.
But anyways, me shooting my shot worked. We ended up dating for the rest of the summer. Mm-hmm. And he took me on some of the best dates I think I've ever been on.
Really? Well, okay, so since we're already on the subject, what do you think the pros are of dating? Because most offices have those dating policies anyways, where they talk about you probably shouldn't fraternize with, other people, there being romantic relationships. And there's always a policy or two, but it's almost like they're always quiet. But then you can't really stop it, right? Like you can't really stop two coworkers if they're around each other, they're doing the same work. It's like, how do you stop two people from engaging in after hour things? Like, what do you think the pros and the cons are of that? I can think of some cons.
Well, to answer your first question, I don't think you can stop two people from doing anything. What people choose to do outside of work, even if they met at work or work together, is their business. Now, if there is evidence of two people dating and there is a no fraternization policy, and it is, impeding somebody's work, and people cannot, get their work done or function in their roles, then I think that could be grounds for people to get terminated if there's a policy. But usually it really applies to people dating their subordinates. Really, because you really don't care if two people on the same level are dating, as long as they get their work done. But if you have a boss dating their, employee, man, that's when you run into problems with favoritism.
The pro, but that's a pro. That's a pro.
Is it a pro?
Because if I'm dating my boss, shout out,
But if somebody else who's higher than my boss finds out and I get fired,
because
it's a policy against it.
Yeah, that's the con. But the pro is that's the con.
So the con outweighs the pro.
Yeah, but the pro, not if you get caught. Because the pro is like this. If I talk to my boss and she likes the work I'm doing and she likes, the pro is this. I might get a promotion now, which benefits me, especially if I'm qualified.
To date and sleep your way to the top.
Whoa, I ain't say all that, but hey, that is a pro. I'm just saying. But I guess the con would be, I guess, this. Let's say you're putting people in these positions that aren't deserving, or they don't have the merit for it, but you're putting them into those positions because of their affiliations. Then you're dealing with a less efficient office. So I guess those would be, I guess you do have to establish boundaries in the workplace,
Right. Because you don't want people sneaking out to the bathroom or
the copy machine like Brittany and
the copy machine room and the janitor's closet.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the perspective of being in a relationship, a pro with dating someone at work is that you see them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You get to go to lunch with them. You don't have to spend time talking about your days because y'all were both there.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that people are more likely to be in your business because the people at your job, well, it doesn't matter if you confirm it or not, they'll peep that you're dating. So now they're being nosy. You have to be more careful with what you do because somebody might be like, oh, yeah, you know, Dante, I saw Keisha over there flirting with Travis the other day, you know.
Stop dry snitching. Stop dry snitching.
You know what, Karen and Becky, they might do that, right? So
and that's why I said this is for the side. They side hustles, the side chicks. Like let that man do his thing on the job.
You gotta really be careful about what you do, you know, and you have to make sure it doesn't get in the way of your work, and you got to make sure you don't cross those personal and professional electronic boundaries, right? Don't be using your personal computer or your professional computer to do personal things.
Ooh,
so don't send those personal emails to your man or your woman and on your professional computer, because then your employer could probably pull it up and see, and then they're like, what's going on here? You know?
So okay, let's say a guy comes up to you the same way that Trey did to Brittany. What you doing? Let's say a guy comes up to you, he's trying to holler, he getting a little too close in your comfort zone at work. What do? At work. You're at work now, so you can't swing on him, you can't slap him. Nope, you at work.
No, I'm not violent.
What you doing?
We don't advocate for physical violence on Mondays at A&J, but I know how to professionally cuss people out.
Yeah.
And so if you are in my space, and I'm going to be nice to you the first time, right? You come over here and you try to approach, I'm going to be like, no, thank you. If you keep coming, I'm going to be like, you're going to need to excuse yourself, you know? And then the third time is when I start making threats. That's when I start drafting up emails. That's when I start saying I'm going to report you.
I think for me, if I was in that situation and I feel uncomfortable, I think the first thing you should do is you should go ahead and talk to your supervisor, write down, document everything. And I think you should probably make that trip to either your HR or your union, because you don't want that getting out of hand, and you don't want it crossing. You don't want it going to different levels, because remember, you're at work. So you got to think about your own job. You got to think about your own safety. And then if let's say somebody's harassing you at work with these work policies, how does that affect your work, your productivity, your efficiency at work? So I think you got to put that nail in the coffin from the jump, you know, from the get-go, before it even gets to that point.
Yeah, definitely document. If you have any text messages, save them, screenshot them. If you have any emails, save them, screenshot them. All that is going to be evidence for this person trying to talk to you, and wanting to talk to somebody, holler at, shooting your shot. I mean, that's natural, but there's a fine line between that and then harassment. And usually the line is the person displays that they have no interest. So once the person displays they don't have any interest, then you got to back off. Yeah. You got to keep it moving. Once you go past that point, now it's harassment. And they can use any of that stuff against you.
But because we left them with that tip, that leads us into Monday's tip for entrepreneurs.
Yes, this is another new segment alert. Monday's tip. You know, we want to drop gems for those in and out of the 9 to 5. So here's a tip from media mogul Byron Allen. He says, pull up at least 2 chairs when you take a seat at the table. His principle of advocacy is one that applies in any arena, whether you climb in the corporate ladder or starting a new business. Once you take your seat at the table, remember to make room for someone else.
You got email.
The topic was at work shooting your shot. Well, let's see who's shooting their shot at our email. Do we have mail?
Hold on, let me check. Oh my God. Okay, yes, we do. We have a question from Chanel from Virginia. Okay, I don't know about
Chanel.
VA. Virginia's for lovers. Okay, so.
Hey, Chanel.
Oh my gosh, no.
Chanel.
We're not going to do that to our listeners. Thank you. Okay, so she asked, how do you respectfully let your boss know that they are attempting to give you work that falls outside of your job requirements and your pay grade. What you think?
Oh my gosh.
How you let them know?
I know that y'all are giving these good questions that I don't be knowing the answer to, and I really got to be sitting here thinking. I'm just gonna say that from the jump.
Well, put yourself in her shoes. Your boss come at you, and they ask you to do things that are above your pay grade.
See, but the funny thing about most jobs is they have that section in there that say more duties to be assigned, which is like the worst
that's
thing.
That's in your job description?
That's in most people's job descriptions.
That ain't in mine.
Probably, yeah, that's what you think. Watch, that's what you think.
That ain't in mine.
I would bring it to my boss. I would bring up my hesitation. I would bring up the reason that I think that maybe this is work that I'm not yet abreast to. Maybe, actually come back to me. You
What?
Come back to me. Yo, these questions is good.
This segment is called Ask A and J.
And A go first.
I mean, if my boss is asking me to do work that is, if it's slightly outside my job requirements or my pay grade, I usually do it, right? It looks good. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it will leverage me into the next pay grade. But if it's something that's clearly somebody else's job or somebody who should be getting paid more for it, then I would set up a meeting to assess, my job duties and just make sure we're on the same page, right? You always want to come from, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, that we both have an understanding and it's clear. Be like, I want to be clear what I'm supposed to be doing here and what is required of me to do my job successfully. So have them go, usually there's some type of plan for everybody's job about what's expected of them. So try to go through it with your boss and then bring up whatever extra they're asking you to do and say, this will add more to my duties, which will require more time, more hours to put in, more work, etc., more resources. Is there an option to take some other things off of my job duties list? Or if I am adding that in addition, is there a way for me to get a temporary raise, a temporary promotion? Will I have a new title? How will I be able to execute these extra job requirements properly so that I'm doing what I need to do for my job, but also it's fair to me?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think doing the work in general, and I would probably document the work that I am doing. Right. Something that a friend told me to do is always establish like a Gantt chart, which kind of goes over everything that you've done, the work that you've worked on, the projects you've done, even the extra work, because that might be something that you bring to your boss and allow them to see at the time of a renegotiation of your contract or your salary or when you are trying to increase grades. So don't think of it always as a bad thing or they're trying to get over on you, but this actually might be a first step to that next promotion. So they're trying to see what else work you can do. Yeah.
So thank you, Chanel from Virginia, for that question. Oh my gosh. And last segment we gonna hit y'all with. We bringing y'all new shit all throughout this episode.
New shit.
Music Mondays, y'all. It is a new segment because we got y'all through the beginning of the day. Now here's some music to get y'all through the rest. We bringing you You Say by new artist Will. That's W!LL. Check him out on IG and all social at Yo That's Will and his website willprayer.com. You can also check out the sound and click the links in the episode description.
I take it from here. You say, let's talk about you and me. Help you take off all your laundry. Mess around and make a movie scene. Ooh, babe, come do what you say.
Thank y'all. Another episode in the books. Already know what time it is.
Hey.
Mondays with A&J. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, Google. Yes. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple. We are on
live.
Google. Subscribe to us, our website, mondayspodcast.com. find us, subscribe to us, follow us on our social medias. Those are going to be up and running in no time. Don't be the last one, because once that page go private, or we be like, nah, we ain't accepting no more people in the club.
This exclusive.
Yo, don't get mad at us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this exclusive.
So just, hey, thank y'all again. I gotta leave y'all with that Monday's quote. I just wish, just once, I would like to wake up, turn on the news, and hear Monday has been canceled. And get to go back to sleep.
Ooh, that would be perfect.
That's it, y'all. We out!
Hey!
Mondays with A and J.
Mondays with A and J is an A and J, and I would.